Smoothie time! Okay, so I've already done a smoothie video and I will link it up here. I wanted to do another one just because there's a few new ingredients that I'm throwing in here. And this will be a little less formal than the last one. I will just sort of go through this a little quicker. But anyways, the first thing that I always start off with again is the bananas. I have my frozen bananas and I'm going to put 2 of those in there today. So I peel my bananas and then freeze them and they are ready to rock in my freezer. And then I also have this is a mixed berry blend. I use this or frozen mangoes or frozen blueberries or whatever. I'm not a big fan of the raspberries just because of the seeds. I like having my smoothies smooth. But anyways, okay, and then I always put some greens in there. So I've got my celery. I'm going to put the celery in there. Oh gosh, it's just going to try to fit it in there. And then I do have some chard as well. So that is very good for you. And I'll put that in. I would normally put kale in here too, but I'm out of kale right now. And now I'm going to put some parsley in here as well. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm throwing in here today is some raw cannabis. So for any of you who are unfamiliar with this plant, basically it is extremely beneficial health-wise, and you can use it in its raw form without getting any psychoactive effects. So it's still going to help with inflammation, anxiety, all the stuff that the cannabis plant normally helps with. But you don't get the psychoactive effects when you're using it raw, and you can actually use a lot more when it's in its raw form than when it is heated, say like if you're smoking it or if you've heated it and put it into some edibles. There's sort of a threshold, but with the raw, you can actually consume quite a bit more. So you're getting more of the medicinal benefits, okay? So what I did was, if I'm pruning my plants or if I've topped my plants so that they don't get past a certain height, then I will save the leaves, and I put them in little Ziploc bag or container and keep it in my fridge. And then I just use that. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm adding in here today is some wheatgrass. So I've got some wheatgrass growing here, and I'm just going to cut myself some fresh wheatgrass and stick that in there too. And these guys will just keep growing, so I can just keep using the wheatgrass. And then I'm going to throw in a bit of fresh oranges as well. Okay, I'm also going to throw in a piece of ginger. And then I'm going to put in some cacao nibs. I love my cacao nibs. They have all sorts of good stuff in them, and they make your smoothie taste kind of like a chocolatey chunk. So that's going in there for sure. And then I got this new powder. It's got cacao powder and then 5 different mushroom blends. And I can't remember off the top of my head what's in there. I know there's lion's mane, reishi, and chaga. And I can't recall what the other 2 are. But anyways, I've got some medicinal mushroom and the chocolate taste. I'm going to throw 2 teaspoons in there. Actually, we'll do 3. I like chocolate. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm adding in here today is some Camu powder. So Camu is very, very high in vitamin C. And as you know, vitamin C is great for your immune system. So I don't want to catch any colds or flus or anything this season. So I'm going to make sure I've got a high vitamin C intake. So I'm doing a teaspoon of Camu. And then this is Moringa. I don't know if I said that right. Moringa leaf powder. So this is a new one that I just started using. It's very high in vitamin A, iron, B6, calcium, and vitamin C. So we're going to throw a teaspoon of that in there too. Okay, and I follow intermittent fasting. I broke my fast just before this and I ate a bunch of seeds and stuff. And I had a greens powder. But if I hadn't done that, I would be adding those things in here too. And I will link that video up here as well so you guys can check that out. And now I am going to add in my coconut water. I always put my coconut water in there because it has potassium and what else? It's got some calcium, phosphorus, magnesium. So like, why just use plain boring water when you can have coconut water that has all these awesome benefits in it? And I fill it up, I don't know, pretty full, I guess, because we got a lot of stuff in there we need to blend up. All right, and then we're gonna have at her here. And if it gets stuck, like you see, it kind of just got stuck there. My Vitamix comes with this awesome thing here. So you can kind of just mash it down a little bit to help it out. Okay. And if it gets a little too, like it's too thick, you can always add in a little bit more coconut water. And this, I think, is just a little too thick. It's having a hard time blending up. And plus, I don't like super thick smoothies. I kind of like to be able to drink my smoothie, not eat it. Although you should be chewing your smoothie anyways, so that it gets mixed in, like you have digestive enzymes in your mouth. So when you take a drink of your smoothie, you should be like chewing it or swishing it around in your mouth before you swallow it so that it mixes with those pre-digestive enzymes and just helps with the digestion process. Okay, so this is pretty blended up. And it's going to be more than this jar, but I'll just fill this jar up and then drink it and then, you know, fill it up again. But it actually looks pretty yummy. And with all that fruit and stuff in there, you don't really taste the green material. If you wanted it to be even sweeter yet, you could add in some dates. Those will really sweeten it up for you. Anyways, that was my quick little cannabis, wheatgrass, superfoods smoothie tutorial. I hope it was helpful and I hope you guys have a really super day. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more material like this, please hit the subscribe button. I will link it somewhere maybe up there. And yeah, thanks again for joining me.